I will start with the first part of the question. I think there is a very high need for this program. Actually, there was the need for this program because we have seen a lot of programs dedicated to startups, and not only in Romania but in the region, in Europe, we have focused a lot on startups, which is a good thing, and we should continue to do that. But then again, there are these scale-ups, the companies that are already in the market, that are already doing a very good job, that are growing, that don't need the education as much, but they do need the social aspect of this program. They do need the networking aspect of such a program. And they also need the structure that a program like MoonShotX is bringing to them. And the fact that this program has been created in partnership with one of the largest banking institutions in the region also puts, on the table something that is somehow not talked about, which is the fact that some of the companies, at not necessarily the earliest stage, but in an early stage, they are not as bankable as the institutions would want them. And such a program actually allows them to showcase their business, their plans, their ideas in a way where they are making themselves heard. And I think the ecosystem that has been created throughout this bootcamp week, but not only through the bootcamp week, but during the entire program, during the next phases of the program, will allow for the financial institution to see potential and for those companies to actually get more value that they even believed at the beginning that they will have. I think I was, amazed because I have been involved in the process from the very beginning, meaning that I have seen the applications and I was involved in the voting process. So I have had the opportunity to actually see all the applicants, not meeting them, but see who they are. And because I had the curiosity, for some of them I knew their names very well and I was super excited to have them. For others, it took a bit of research because I did not know their names, but looking into them, I was able to actually put together. I know that line of business. I know that industry. I know a competitor. I didn't know they did that. So it was for me a very rewarding process. In terms of my take on that is that I think the mere fact that very experienced companies with a turnover that overcomes. So I think we have one that has a turnover above 50 million euros per year. I think this gives you a bit of the perspective of the value of such a program, of the value proposition that we had, that InnovX and MoonShotX has brought to the market. And the thing that makes me even prouder and that makes me congratulate, that the organizing team is that I have seen those companies, representatives, being here for 5 days in a row, really engaged, and being able to actually talk to them during breaks, on the hallways. Each and every one has told me about the bits and pieces of value that they've seen. And it's like things we knew and things we didn't expect. So that's, my take on it. I think the complexity of the participants is very important because they do take value from each other. I think what some of them have mentioned, and I think we need to take into account, is the fact that they do see a lot of value in actually networking amongst themselves. And some of them have nothing to do with technology, or as little as possible to do with technology. So it's not tech startups, but they really do also need, attention and structure and networking events and, being showcased. And that's exactly what we do here. We showcase their businesses. By design, I talk about commercial strategy because that's my area of expertise. I do commercial strategy, sales strategy, and usually when I engage in a discussion with a company, I try to understand what has been done so far, how are they doing things, how do they see their future, if they do have challenges. Most of the companies that I engage with have challenges, and through the discovery process we try to determine the challenges that they know, the challenges that they don't know, and the challenges that will appear, because there is always this blind spots that you don't know about. You are very focused when you are in the middle of the battle. You think about the enemy in front of you, but then there are opportunities and enemies that you are not thinking about. So commercial strategy is one thing. Then I also talk about sales teams and organizing the sales team's activities. And one area that I like in particular is presentation skills. I have been doing that for some years now with the startups in the InnovX cohorts. For this level of companies, the presentation skills are, let's say, overseen usually, because they don't necessarily raise on a continuous basis. They don't, engage with VCs unless they have that in their strategies. But presentation skills are just as important, because you do present yourself, to the bank, you do present yourself to the potential employees, because if you are a company that has a very successful business, you might want to employ top executives. The way that you present yourself, the company, you as an owner, and everything surrounding your company is just as important, because we are selling actually ourselves to everybody, to the customers, to the employees, to the investors, to whomever gets in touch with us. So these are pretty much the areas that we talk about. And of course, I do business mentoring, and I work with executives or companies. So that's another thing. So the first advice that comes to mind is very highly correlated with the discussions that I've had on the hallways and during breaks. It's, actually everybody comes in such a program with their focus. So I know from the very beginning that I have my focus on, scaling outside of Romania. But then I would advise everybody to have that focus in mind all the time, but to also keep their ears and hearts open, because there are so many opportunities that present themselves during such an event, where if you do not keep your eyes and ears open, they might, pass unseen. And I would mention just a few, because I was amazed to see some of them engage with each other and actually go into discussions of future collaborations, mutual recommendations, things that happen usually in a networking event. But this is more than just a networking event where we do speed dating. This is a bootcamp. So we are in the 5th day of a bootcamp, very intensive, very, time consuming, where they have been, working one next to each other, and they've actually been able to see each other's strong points, lower points, stuff, things like that. But then again, the opportunities don't stop here. We have a full program, until next summer. We will have a number of activities, and Diana was mentioning yesterday that they can also request, we want to meet somebody, we want to have, especially for some of us, a special event with a certain mentor, a certain person invited, and InnovX is open to that. Of course, there are limits and limitations, but I would advise this: keep your eyes and ears and minds open, and ask for things. Yeah, if you see an opportunity and you want to tap on it, come to the organizers, talk to them, and they will find a way. And for the companies that were not, decided if they wanted to register or whatever, keep an eye on the program and, try to engage with the alumni next year and take their insights, see how they feel about it, because I do have a very good feeling about how this program is gonna turn out. Of course, I would want all of them to reach, their targets and aims and whatever they've set their minds to do. But at a personal level, what I would like to see is that each and every one of them actually gives us a feedback where they say that they have taken value out of this program, because I know how much work has been put into creating it. And, for me personally, I think being a part of the program is very, very rewarding in itself. And seeing, I already had a request. I already had somebody asking me, oh, is there room for one more? Could we register now? Because once you see how it unfolds, what happens and whatever, you kind of, take a wild guess and see the value. So I would like to see this kind of requests coming more often. I would like to see seasoned entrepreneurs joining the program, because they will bring value to it. That's for sure. But they will also get a lot of value from that. So seeing it unfold, seeing it finished, seeing people happy at the end of it, and having many, many, many requests to join for the next season, I think that's my moonshot.